Hello and welcome back to another day session vlog. I call it the gravel pit because that's essentially what it is. But yeah, let's go and take a look around. Late start today, but I'm the only one here. Get a few hours in. It does look good down here, doesn't it? Right, well, the rods are now set up. I've got my day shelter up. The helicopter is up. For anybody that doesn't know, if anybody's new here, this is called the helicopter because my cousin reckons the top of it is all like, I don't know, like if you could imagine a helicopter, like you have the wings up here and that's what it looks like underneath. And not only that, but it does have a reputation for blowing away in the wind, any kind of wind. But it is all pegged down, 4 pegging points down there. And we're away, and it's quite beautiful actually. It's about 16.5, 17 degrees on the car. It's actually spring now. It's like mid-April. It's really, really nice, and I'm looking forward to the next couple of months fishing. Summer's going to be awesome. I don't really like fishing when it's too hot, but then again, you know, at least now, hopefully, the winter's behind us. The cold, the wet, the rain, the mud. Although saying that, right here on this lake today, I'm going to put up on screen now, these are the swims up the shallow end of the lake. So this is where I wanted to fish, up this end of the lake. But obviously looking at that, there's no access. I just can't get in there. There's actually only 2 swims really that are fishable. And that's down this end of the lake where I am now, the car park end. But it's really, really deep down here. Now, it's good because the wind's obviously blowing down in this direction. However, it's not a cold wind either. But it is deep, and because the sun's out and it's warmer today, I wanted to fish up the shallower end. I thought the fish might be moving up there, but it is what it is. At least I'm fishing, at least I got the rods out. It's better than being at work. And like I say, we're back here for another day session vlog. We've got a few hours on here. Oh, I've got a new tripod as well. Big shout out to my dad. Bosh, there we go, look at that. Happy days. Right, so as ever, we've got our trusty noble steed, Billy Blanksaver. He's with us. Looking a little bit worse for wear at the moment. He's quite dirty. He's got dirt in his eye. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I'm sure he can bring us some luck. I did just have actually a savage liner on that left hand rod. Rod tip bent round. It was going doo-doo. I thought it was a bite, and then it just pinged, and I'm guessing it was a liner. I've got the left hand rod on a pink fruit and nut magic bean. The right hand rod is on an original OG fish wafter, both on D rigs. I don't have any spots. I haven't wrapped up. I've just pub chucked them. I don't know an awful lot about this lake, and I'm not really building a swim. I'm here for a couple of hours. I'm chucking out some mesh bags with some boilie and pellet mix in there, and I'm just trying to get a bite or two. Now, I've only ever fished this lake once, I think, and it was in the run up to Christmas. If any of you watch my Fishmas episodes, I called it the gravel pit because that's what this is. It is a big gravel pit. I believe down this end of the lake, it's up to like... I might be wrong. I don't know an awful lot about this, but I think the deeper area where I'm fishing now is around 12 to 15 feet. And in the shallower area up there, it goes up to like 2 foot. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know sort of any features in here. There's some bars up the middle. But yeah, that's about all I know. I don't really know an awful lot about this lake. I want to put more time into it. Like I say, I only fished it once in the whole of last season because I was focusing my fishing elsewhere. But this lake, there are some fish that run carp that run to over 20 pounds. So one of them would be absolutely fantastic. But there is quite a few carp in here that are sort of like, I think between sort of 5 and 15 pounds. And it's heavily stocked with silverfish, roach, rudd, bream. I think there are tension here. I think there's big perch in here as well. So I think it's a kind of water where I'm going to be needing to reel in and check my baits every 5 minutes just to make sure that the hook bait is still on and not being attacked savagely by all those roach and bream. So yeah, that is it. That's where we are. I'm going to get some food out for you in a minute because Easter has been and gone, and I've got a little surprise to show you. You know when people say, I don't care about catching a fish, it's just nice to be out? I am bang into that frame of mind right now. It is just nice to be out. I've just come off night shift, so yeah, I'm very much in that frame of like transitioning. If anybody works nights, they know what it's like going from nights to days. It's very much like trying to transition, getting your sleep in right. You see daylight again and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's blinding. But yeah, very much relaxed, down at the lake, a couple of rods out, and it's just nice to be out. Even nicer to be out when it's Easter, because look at this. Yay! Big shout out to my nan. My nan actually got me this egg for Easter, and yeah, mini eggs. You get an egg in there and you get some mini eggs inside it. So I know you'll be watching this, nan, so thank you very much. I'm going to enjoy this on the bank, and hopefully I get interrupted by a great big carp. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Do you know what, actually, I wouldn't mind catching a tench or something, as long as I don't catch anything silver. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this, and then what I'm gonna do is reel the rods in and just maybe change a spot or put some more bait on, or just have a little assessment of that. Look, hey. Now, I have been told that you can actually catch them right under the rod tip here, because it's quite deep straight away. It's not like a gradual, off the edge of the swim, it just goes straight down, I believe. And I've been told that actually you can catch them right on the end of the rod tip. Now, in the summer, when it's a bit warmer, they actually come up off the top and take bread and dog biscuits and floaters and things like that. So in the next couple of months, when it does start warming up, I might come down here and just try and stalk some in the margins, taking floaters off the top and stuff. Like, I love that style of fishing, and I want to do quite a lot of that this year. What I might do then is I might bring in the right hand rod, scoop some bait out at the end of my rod tip, and just fish over the top of it. I'm getting a drop every time I cast out. Well, it's a gravel pit, isn't it? So you're going to, but I don't think it's, there's weed in places, you can see it, but I think on the whole it's pretty clean out there. When I fished here before, I was actually told by the bailiff that a lot of people, when they come here, they don't put out enough bait. And I know people can often get accused of putting out too much bait and killing a spot, but the bailiff was adamant here that the more bait you put out, the more chance you are of catching. He said they're not put off by spoms, you know, bait going in over the top. He said they love it. And he said the more bait you can get out there, the more chance you've got of catching. But I guess it's different. If you're building a swim or trying to work your way into a swim, then that makes sense, right? But if you're here for a few hours and you want a quick bite, a couple of scoops and fish over the top, hopefully that'll be enough. I guess we'll soon find out. Like I say, I'm going to be coming back here and putting more time and effort into this place. So I'm going to learn more about it as and when I fish it. But yeah, it's like anywhere, isn't it? The more times you fish somewhere, the better you get with it. The more you sort of understand how it works, how the fish feed and stuff like that, you know. I've been here for a couple of hours. I've seen a couple of little skimmers like jumping. I've not seen any signs of carp since I've been here. I wouldn't be surprised if they were at the shallow end of the lake, which is where I wanted to go, but it is what it is. So in a couple of months, hopefully those flooded swims will be dried up and we can get down there, but all we can do is try. Do you know, when I make these videos and I show you me fishing, catching the fish, casting, showing you my bait, do you ever wonder what I'm doing when I'm not doing those things? I'm just eating Doritos. Other crisps are available. But yeah, that's all I ever do, really. I mean, to be honest with you, I do show you a lot of time in my videos when I'm not catching fish. I do show you me eating things. But ever since this year, I don't know what it is. I've just had a real craving for these. I absolutely love them. I never knew about it before, but yeah, it's decent. So at this lake, there's probably only 6 swims, and they're all on this side, that obviously that I'm on now. But there is obviously round the back there. You can't get round there. You can't fish over there. There's no swims over there. But up the top end, you can walk around the back a little bit. It starts to get a bit overgrown on that. It's all been left to, like, basically naturally grow. But what I'm saying is that front line of the trees right there, the lake actually goes back quite a bit further, like maybe 3 rod lengths further back than where those trees are. So I mean, if you're a big carp in here, naturally you'd be hiding up in, surely you'd be hiding up in all those snags and trees up the back there. And that's what I think might happen here. I think even though they say that you can catch them under the rod tips, I think if you're a big carp in here, you would be eating all the naturals off the tree, well, off the trees in the back there. And not only that, you're going to be safe in there in the snags and stuff, aren't you? Why would you come out of all the naturals and the safety of those trees to eat magic beans? Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's not to say that magic beans don't work. You know, the freshest bait in the game, I'm sure a couple of them might be lured out of those snags to have a go on these. But yeah, like I say, magic beans, if you want to try these guys, if you've never tried Parker baits, they smell great. You can get 10% off by using coupon code South Coast Angler at checkout. Now, when I say these smell good, what I do, I don't have any on me right now, but when these come through, this is the fruit and nut, but I do the same with the fish. When they first come through, I also get some flat spot alongside it, and I'll take the lid off and I'll just put a light glaze over the top, and I'll put the lid on and I'll just shake it up. And what that does is the flat spot, I just shake it up like that, and then what happens is the flat spot will ooze into the baits, and then like you can leave them on there. I do that when they first come through, and you could just leave them on there until you use them, but it enhances the smell of them. It keeps the colour of them, but you've just got much more of an enhanced smell. This is the 15 meals, but yeah, go and check out Parker Baits. Like I say, 10% off with coupon code South Coast Angler at checkout, and you can save yourself some money on the freshest bait in the game. And it is the freshest bait in the game, because if you don't follow Parker Baits, go onto their socials, their Facebook stories, Instagram stories, and you can see every day those guys are in there pumping out bait. Right, well, I've just seen my first show, and it came up about a rod length off the back over there. And I've said this before, when I filmed here for my Christmas episode, one of my Christmas episodes, I'm pretty sure I said I saw something jump that was orange. Now, I've just seen my first show come up where I just showed you over there. It wasn't a big bosh, it wasn't a crash, it just come up like it was no noise to it. It just come up very slowly and just went down again. And I got a glimpse of it. I couldn't quite see what it was, I couldn't make it out, but again, it looked orange. Now, I don't know if it's just the way that this lake is. I don't know, maybe the sun's positioned in a certain way, or the colour of the water, or just looking out at the tree line. Something about it is making whatever it is out there look orange. I've just seen a little roach or something just flap there, but I'm sure I've been here on more than one occasion now and seen something jumping or something moving that is orange. Now, I'd be really interested to know if there is like golden north in here or golden tench. You don't often see tench jump. It's very weird. I don't know what it is. It might just be mirror carp that have got like a real orange colour on them. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna whip us. I'm tripping. I thought my left-hand rod was going then. I'm going to whip a single out to it just to see if I can catch it. There's a carp in just at the end of my rod tips right here, taken off the top. I need to get some floating baits out there quick. Oh, that is so frustrating. Honestly, I was just sat here and one came in quite close, started like, it was on the surface. It was just like trying to take off like bits of weed and leaves off the top. So I threw out some wafters and it was taking them. So I've reeled my rod in quick, taken the lead off it, taken everything off it, put a single hook on. I was like, I've got no bread or floaters or nothing. So I've kept the D-rig on it and put a pineapple pop-up on it, chucked it out. It wasn't interested in the pineapple pop-up. I was like, got to go match the hatch. I put a wafter on, but the wafter wasn't floating in the water, it was sinking. I couldn't see the bait or anything. By this time, I'd lost the fish. Oh my gosh, there's a massive fish out in front of me. The fish are in front of me, but I can't catch them. I'm putting floaters on, pop-ups and stuff. Sorry, I haven't got floaters. I'm using pop-ups to try and lure them, but they're not slipping up. But at one point I saw 4 or 5 fish out in front of me, and I managed to get a pineapple pop up right in front of one of its noses, and it just turned away from it. That's so frustrating, because they're out in front of me now. They've moved on to me. I just need to try and hope one slips up. I've been trying so hard to catch them. Honestly, when I saw them out in front of me, I switched over onto the pop-ups, trying to take them off the top. They weren't slipping up, but I knew they were in front of me in the area, so I got my right hand rod, which is on the bottom, and I scooped a couple more bits of bait down, trying to get them to go down, but nah, I don't know. They're being quite finicky, but I reckon, like I say, in a couple of weeks, when that sun starts coming down, it starts warming up, I reckon you could have it off down here on a controller float and some bread or floaters or dog biscuits, anything. They're still fish in front of me now. I'm trying to make them slip up, but they're not. Well, the rain's now moving in. That was very frustrating. Like I say, I could see the fish in front of me. And like I threw in about, when I first saw them on the surface, I was like, right, whilst I sort my rod out, I need to keep them up in the water. I need to keep them in the swim. So I threw about 4 or 5 OG fish wafters out, and they did take the odd 1 or 2. Reeled in quickly, sorted my rod out. But I didn't know what to do. I was like, how do you present? I don't have any bands or anything. I was like, how do I present a pop-up on a hook? I can't hook it. I've got no bands. I was like, I need to keep the D in it. So originally, I just took the lead off. But because I still had the anti-tangle sleeve, the tail rubber and the leg clip on it, it was pulling the pop-up down under the water. I couldn't see it. And I was like, I was trying to fish like that for a bit, and I was waiting to see the line go tight if I had to take or anything, but it was not ideal. So I cut the rig off, took off the lead clip and the tail rubber, and then actually cut off the swivel, the quick change swivel, pulled the anti-tangle sleeve off the rig, and then blood knotted the rig to my main line. So now I've got my main line blood knotted to just a fluoro D rig with no anti-tangle sleeve on, and then obviously the D on the back of the hook, which is what I was putting the pop-up on. And I started off fishing with a pineapple one, which is fine because it was so bright and I could see it, but they weren't interested in it. They just weren't taking it. And there was one time I cast it right on its head, and I thought, yes, that's it, perfect. And it come up to it, and I was like, here we go, and it moved off it, and I was like, ah. So I was like, I've got to go, because they were taking the Match the Hatch OG Fish wafters. I was like, I've got to go with a Match the Hatch OG Fish pop-up, which I've got. But of course, they're bloody, you know the colour of them. They're brown, and you cast it out, and there's a bit of wind trickling. I can't see it, and I'm watching the line to see if it goes tight, but I just couldn't get any of them to take it. To be honest with you, I don't think that D-rig is the right presentation for a pop-up fishing on the surface, because you've got the pop-up, but you've got a big hook hanging underneath it, so the fish can obviously see that. And if they don't feel confident on it or comfortable taking that, they probably won't, which is why, you know, that one turned off it. Well, I just saw one, about 5 or 6 pound mirror, right in front of me. I've chucked this pop-up right in front of it, and it's just, it went like it was going to take it, and it just moved away. As I say, I think when it's sat like that up in the water, that hook is just so obvious. Look at it. It's too big. Like, I don't have any, I do have some mixer hooks that I could probably put on, but I don't know. I'll have to, again, try and make that D. Do you know what I might do? I might try and outsmart them, yeah? I might just put on a couple of big split shots about 5 or 6 foot up the line and cast it out so it's sat mid-water, and hopefully, rather than coming from underneath it, they'll see it on top and they'll come down. They won't see the hook. That's the plan anyway. I'm going to give that a go. Oh, you would not believe what just happened. The moment I was waiting for, a mirror swam right in front of me. And of course, I had this new rig that I've come up with the split shots acting like a zig, and because I had it like 7 foot, it's not as easy as just, have you ever tried and flicked a zig? That's because that's effectively what this rig is. Have you ever tried an underarm flicked a zig just in front of you? That's basically what I tried to do, but it's even harder because rather than using a lead, you're using split shot, which weigh nothing. Anyway, this mirror come up, it took the pop-up, and I was like, that's it, it slipped up. That's what I've been waiting for. Took the pop-up, I've struck, but because I've got line everywhere, because it's like almost like fishing with a zig, the strike was pants, the fish spooked, swam off, I didn't nail it. Right, so the rig I've got on now on the left-hand rod is basically a zig, but rather than using a bit of foam and a lead, I'm using a 50mm pop-up and 5 split shots. I don't know why I didn't just tie up a zig, to be honest. I don't know, I've proper bodged it, but I really hope it goes. I'll be so proud of it if it does. Oh dear, it is basically a zig. Well, it is a zig. I mean, people use pop-ups with zigs, so I could have just tied a pop-up. I could have just tied a zig and put a pop-up on it. I don't know what I've done. I don't know why I've done it, but I have. Oh, brilliant. You don't get content like this on Corder YouTube channel, do you? Corder or Fox. South Coast Angler YouTube channel, that's where it's at. Unless we don't catch anything. But look at it, it's banging. I love it here. Honestly, I really do love it here. I need to spend more time down here. Yeah, I'm gonna move my right hand rod onto the bottom down here, throw some bait in. And I'm gonna go back to try and catch them off the top again. Say the wind's died right down now, so I can see what I'm doing. I'll be able to cast properly. And hopefully we can find one of those ones that slips up again. And this time we will nail it.
A few moments later.
Persistence has paid off, guys. Persistence has paid off. I'm in, boys. Oh, I'm so happy. Right, let me try and get this camera on the tripod and keep it away from that rod. Keep it away from that rod. Oh, this is always easy when you're on your own. Trying to film, not drop my phone, and play a fish. Keeping it tight. Where's the tripod? Here we go. I'm in, lads, I'm in. I knew persistence would pay off. Oh, it's giving me the runaround. I've not seen it. I didn't even see the take, to be honest. Oh, looks like a ghosty. We might have a ghosty here, boys. It's not massive, but it is fighting. Wow. Oh, it's a ghosty. It's a lovely looking fish. Perler, absolute perler. Yes, it's my neck, come on! Get in! Oh my gosh, that was absolutely insane. Brilliant, I'm absolutely buzzing. That was on a 15mm fruit and nut pop-up. Basically what was happening was I could see the fish in front of me and I couldn't get the bait to it because I didn't have enough like weight behind it. I could get like what I was doing is I was trying to get the distance, and where I was throwing it as hard as I could, the direction was off. But so what I did was I put one of the split shots about a foot away from the bait just to give me that extra casting weight. Trouble is, a split shot was pulling the pop-up under the water. So basically what was happening was I was getting the distance and I was casting, and then I was watching the pop-up and the pop-up was just going like that and it would sink and I couldn't see it. So what happened was I cast it towards this showing fish. I cast it out and the pop-up started sinking and I thought, oh, there's nothing on. So I started winding it back in, and as I'm winding it back in, I've hooked up. So the ghosty obviously took it as it was sinking, took it, and yeah, I've nailed it. Yes! Look at this beaut. It put up one hell of a fight. It's not a huge fish. It's not small. It's a decent looking fish, or a decent sized fish, should I say. But it's a very cool looking fish, and it's still got a lot of energy. This lake in particular, there's a split shot, look. And then, look at that. OG fish in the side of the mouth. 15mm pop-up. Look at it. Yes, come on. Well, can you believe this? It wasn't my zig rig, it was my rig that worked. So this is the 15mm OG fish pop-up, match the hatch. There we go, on that. And that's what I was saying, that hook is so blatant under there. So when it was sitting on top of the water, basically it was sitting, where's the camera? There we go. So it was sitting like that, and the fish, look how big that hook is. The fish could see that, which is why they were turning away from it. So I added a split shot. If you're wondering what this is my rig that I've just blood knotted. I've just blood knotted that rig onto there. Don't laugh, because it worked. So I've got a split shot there to help me with casting distance, and what's happened is, as it sits on top of the water, that split shot pulls it down like that, which in turn pulls the pop-up down like that. So what must have happened is, obviously I've cast it over his head, it's hit the water, and as it's going like that and pulling that down, he's just disregarded the hook, and he's just gone, or he might have come in at that angle and not seen it, but whatever happened, he obviously just went, I'm having that, and he's gone bang like that. I didn't think I'd hooked it, like I didn't think anything of it, so I've started reeling in, and as I'm reeling in, boom, the rod whacks round, and I'm in, and he's looking very lively in the net still, so I'm going to try and hold him up for a photo. But yeah, I don't think he's that interested in being on YouTube, but it's a brilliant looking ghostie. I might weigh it. It looks like a low double. Right, well here he is, £11 on the dot, and when he puts that fin up, it looks awesome. I can't get him to do it. There we go. Angry little thing, but yeah, like I say, £11 on the nose. Proper ghost carp. Little bit of a mark on him there. I'll get a bit of carp care on there, but I love these, like, you know, commons and mirrors are great, but these little ghost carp, they're brilliant. Wouldn't mind one twice the size, mine, but we take that happy days. Well, the rain is starting to come in. Let's get him back and let's get packed away, because I think that is going to be the end of my session. I'm absolutely over the moon with that. Buzzing, absolutely buzzing. He's more than ready to go back. Go on. There you go, look at that. Happy blooming days. Come on the Parker baits and come on the ghost carp. I didn't expect that when I came out fishing today. But yeah, the rain is coming in. Everything's going to get wet. Oh, that's not good. But what I would say is, the rod that's been on the bottom all day has not done anything. So maybe that's something we can take away from here, something that we've learned. Maybe it's better off with a controller float or bread in the margins or something. I don't know. But we're going to come back here. We're going to keep fishing it. We're going to keep trying. That's another good thing about this as well, is I can always have one rod out on the bottom and the other rod I can just use, like, you know, fishing off the top or whatever. So I don't know, but there's more to come from this lake. But thank you for watching this one. I'm about to pack away. There won't be any more carp in this one. Yeah, please go down, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Plenty of content coming out for you guys. These day session vlogs are meant to be every 2 weeks, but I've got so many like other videos that are coming out on top of the daily vlog, on top of the day session vlogs, that you'll get in a lot of carpy content. So leave a like, not just for me, but for that ghostie. Subscribe so you can see more of that and where that came from. If you haven't tried Parker baits, you can use that by using code South Coast Angler. Save yourself some money, get 10% off. And I'm about to get drenched because the heavens are about to open. But yeah, goodbye for now. I will be back. Bish, bash, bosh.